Welcome to Ctrl Alt Ronin, reframing life through a designer's lens. I'm Sally from Ronin Graphics, and today we're exploring a concept familiar to every designer, the undo function. We'll be discussing how we can apply this idea to real life, learning from our mistakes and starting over. Joining us is Osama, the creative director of Ronin Graphics. Osama, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sally. I'm excited to dive into this topic. It's one that's close to my heart, both as a designer and in my personal life.
Let's start with the basics. In design software, what exactly is the undo function, and why is it so valuable?
Great question. The undo function, often activated by pressing Ctrl+Z, allows us to reverse our last action. It's a safety net that gives designers the freedom to experiment without fear. If something doesn't work, we can simply undo it and try again.
That sounds incredibly useful. How do you think this concept translates to real life?
While we can't literally undo our actions in real life, we can adopt a mindset that embraces mistakes as part of the process. Just like in design, life is often about trial and error. The key is to learn from each undo moment and use that knowledge to inform our next steps.
Can you give us an example from your own life or career where you wished you had a Ctrl+Z option?
Ooh, there have been many. One that stands out was early in my career when I sent a design draft to a client without double-checking it. There was a glaring typo that I missed. I was mortified and wished I could just hit Ctrl+Z and make it disappear.
Oh no, how did you handle that situation?
Well, since I couldn't actually undo it, I had to face it head-on. I immediately called the client, owned up to my mistake, and sent a corrected version. To my surprise, the client appreciated my honesty and quick response. It taught me a valuable lesson about accountability and attention to detail.
That's a great example of turning a mistake into a learning opportunity. How do you think people can cultivate this Ctrl+Z mindset in their daily lives?
I think it starts with changing our perspective on mistakes. Instead of seeing them as failures, we should view them as valuable data points. Each mistake is an opportunity to learn and improve. It's also important to practice self-compassion. Just as we don't berate ourselves for using the undo function in design, we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves for missteps in life.
That's a powerful shift in mindset. Are there any specific techniques you use to learn from mistakes?
Absolutely. One technique I use is what I call the error log. Just like how design software keeps a history of actions, I keep a journal of significant mistakes or challenges. I write down what happened, what I learned, and how I can apply that lesson in the future. It's a great way to turn negatives into positives.
I love that idea. It's like creating your own personal undo history. Now, in design, there's a limit to how many actions you can undo. How does this relate to real life?
That's a great observation, Sally. In life, as in design, we can't undo everything. There's a point where we have to accept what's happened and move forward. The trick is to know when to let go and start fresh, and when to keep working with what we have. It's about finding that balance between learning from the past and not letting it hold us back.
That's really insightful, Osama. As we wrap up, what's one piece of advice you'd give our listeners about embracing this Ctrl+Z in real-life mentality?
I would say, don't be afraid to make mistakes. In design, some of our best ideas come from happy accidents or from fixing something that didn't work at first. The same is true in life. Embrace the process. Learn from each undo moment, and remember, every great design and every great life goes through multiple revisions.
Thank you, Osama. That's a wonderful note to end on. To our listeners, we hope this discussion has inspired you to view your mistakes as opportunities for growth and learning. Remember, Life doesn't have a Ctrl+Z function, but it does have endless possibilities for revision and improvement.
And don't forget, sometimes the best designs and the best lives come from embracing our mistakes and turning them into something beautiful.
Beautifully said. This has been Ctrl Alt Ronin, reframing life through a designer's lens. Join us next week as we continue to explore how design thinking can transform our everyday lives. Until then, keep designing, keep learning, and don't be afraid to hit that mental undo button when needed. Thanks for listening. It's Sally from Ronin Graphics.